I Archana Oinam. I English ki Ozan. Hello students. Today we have another new lesson, lesson number 5 from class 6 course English course book. And it is a small poem, a very beautiful poem by Hijam Irabot. And it is an English translation of a Manipuri poem, December 12, written by our great leader Hijam Irabot. And who Hijam Irabot is, let us have, you already have a lesson about Hijam Irabot on in your in class 5. You have already studied a lot about him, but just a little reminder before we read the lesson, before we read the beautiful short poem, let us know a little bit about Hijam Irabot. So he was born on September 30, 1896 at Pisum Oinam Lekai. And if you recall, his wife, the name of his wife was Princess Kobdonsana. And he got his education at Johnstone Higher Secondary School. And I'm very sure most of you might have remembered many incidences that happened at Johnstone English Higher Secondary School while he was a student. You have studied a lot about that in class 5. As a student, he was very bright, well-disciplined. And not only that, he was a very, very active student. He always participated in any co-curricular activities that took place in those days in his school. It may be singing, acting, sports, debating, or recitation. He actively participated in all these activities. And because of that, he turned out to be a great leader of Manipur, leading the people of Manipuris bringing out the people, successfully leading the people of Manipur against the oppressions of the British government. Now, he also had shown great leadership in Nupilan. And what is Nupilan? Nupilan, or Women's War. We all know Nupilan is it. Every year we celebrate Nupilan on December 12th, and we have a big memorial there behind our general head post office. Every time you go there, you look at those memorial, and we remind ourselves of the sacrifices that our mother has done for us. And just to remind you once again, it was a protest against a monarchy, against the British government that ruled the state, and it was a very long war. It continued for 14 months. And we should not forget that while the British were ruling our state, many rights were violated. And we should not forget that the main issue of the war, or the main reason why this war came up was because of scarcity of rice. It was not because of any natural calamities like flood or drought, but it was a man-made situation. It was because the traders or the businessmen, along with the help of the British government and the then ruler, they exported the rice outside our state. And what happened to the situation inside the state? They used to sell rice at a very high price because exporting it to outside the state was in high number, whereas the native people were suffering because of the increase in export. And because of that, the Manipuri mothers, they came out of their household to revolt against this. And this story we are going to learn in detail after we read the poem. We will discuss about it. Now, with the introduction of the poem done for December 12th, let me now read the whole poem together so that we can enjoy the poem. The beauty of the poem lies when read together as a whole, and then we will go into the line-by-line explanation of the poem. So, my dear students, once again, it is my request to all of you, to all my students of class 6, to please open your text and enjoy the poem as I read along with me. And in this way, you will also feel the presence of yourself inside your classroom, and it will surely take you back to your memories. Okay, December 12th. The night has passed, another day has gone. Devi, tuck and tie your hair, hanging loose and disheveled. One December 12th's gone, and another December 12th's come. Have you forgotten that? Did you believe hair will be tucked and tied? Did you really think that they'll come again? Now we have read the poem, December 12th. And what does the poem talks about? The poem December 12th is about Nupilan that took place on December 12th. Here the poet talks about the war that took place due to scarcity of rice. Women, our mothers, they took an active role in this war. They came out to fight the then ruling British government, exploiting the state. Please don't forget, they came out of their household. Those mothers who have been looking after their families, looking after the children, they could no longer, they could no longer bear the pain, they could no longer bear the suppression, the exploitations of the British government. So they came out of the household to revolt against the scarcity of rice, the increasing price in the rice. So it was an outburst of the long years of oppression, long years of frustration. It was an outburst. It was a ventilation to show that we can no longer bear such suppression and exploitation. What is the poet trying to show in this poem? The poet is requesting the women of Manipur, the Manipuri mothers, to be ready to fight and to be ready for yet another war. As we will see, as we proceed into the line-by-line explanation of the poem, we will see the poet asking the Manipuri women to be ready for another war. And this war was a historic war. It was no doubt a historic war. Nupilan, which means women's war, was very different from other revolt. Many other revolts had taken place, but it was very different. Why? Because here we will see only women coming out of their household, women who had been looking after their children, after their family, cooking and just looking after the household. They came out and they fought against the strong British soldier. So this is why the war is very different. And this war was a changing point in the history of Manipur because it sowed the seeds of economic, political reforms for a new Manipur in the early 40s. So we should remember that Nupilal is a very, very historic incident in the history of Manipur. So with this, let us continue with the explanation of the poem, where we will see what the poet is asking from the mothers of Manipur. So this is a very short poem written by Hijam Irabod Singh, and it was written in Manipuri, and we have it here again in our English course book, and it is just a simple translation. Now let us go into the line-by-line explanation of the poem. It is a very short poem, isn't it? We can easily memorize this poem also, but the poem is short, but it carries lots of meaning. And what is the meaning? Let us see. Saireng se yamna tele, simphapu buda su yamna laire, adubu telaba piklaba saireng se na puri ba arthadi. Atuke mate yame, maite ronda, Manipuri londa, Hijam Irabo na iramba saireng ni, English ta handok laga, akhoi ta classics ki, English ki course book ta yaubani ko, aduna kai hari no haibada. Let us read the lines and see. The night has passed. Means already a day is over. A day is over. Day's work is done. And it is night. Simply all the activities are finished, isn't it? Night has passed. Already one day is gone. And the passing of the night takes place slowly, isn't it? The day tends to, come to an end very quickly, but nighttime, it seems to be very long because nothing happens during night. No activities take place, isn't it? We feel that the duration of the night is very long. So the poet here is saying the night is passing very slowly, but already we have one day is over, the night is passing, another day has gone. We have finished, one day is over. We have lost one day already because now it's nighttime, and this nighttime is also passing away slowly. So with the setting of the sun, our one day's work is over. A day is closed. A chapter in our life is closed. So we often say what happened during the day. When night time comes, we say past is past, forget about it. What happened in the morning, we tend to forget about it at night. So here the poet is saying already one day's work is over, everything is closed, our chapter is closed, the day's chapter is closed, and our life is going to come to an end. Night time is passing slowly. So with the setting of the sun, everything is over, and we await for a new day with new hope and new dreams. Maiteiron da hairaga nungdang se tapna hauriye ko numit ama loigrabani. Numit ama loiba haibase karino. Numit ama loiba haibadi thabak ama loire. Anything thokiba thodok ama muk loire. Akoina kari ngai noma loibaga, we wait for a new day. Anoba numit ama ngai ko anoba thodok any apabayai patabayai thodok ama thokadabado akoina ngairaga lei. Adumaina tawdana poet sina akoida ningjing bira ini akoida haire ini ko. So the poet is telling us, reminding us, a day is over, the night is passing quickly, so be careful. It's cautioning us. Akoida symbol ama signal ama pira ini ko. It's telling us to be cautious that you have already finished one day. Devi, tuck and tie your hair. Devi, tuck and tie your hair. Devi is a very respectable term used for women of Manipur. Maitai nupi da piba mingtholni Devi haibase, and it is a very respectable term. It is used to honor, like it's a term used to honor women, and we often find most women of Manipur using Devi at the end of their name. So the poet is saying Devi here means Ima, the mothers of Manipur, the women of Manipur. Tuck and tie your hair. Comb your hair, make your hair is all untidy. Now I'll read the two lines together and you'll get the beauty of the poem. Devi, tuck and tie your hair, hanging loose and disheveled. Means your hair is all untidy. Why? Day's work, when we are doing our day's work, we are not aware of how we look like, isn't it? Our hair is all untidy. We are not interested in how we look. Rather, we continue with our work. But the poet is saying, get ready, because one day is over, another day will come. What event might come up, we don't know. So get ready for another event. Now, what is the event that the poet is suggesting? The poet may be suggesting that at any time, any moment, another revolt, another war, another movement might come up. So get ready. Don't just lazy around. Don't just lie around with the hope that one event is over and another event won't come. It might happen. It might come. So get ready. Tuck and tie your hair. Get ready. Tidy your hair all the time. Be alert. Again, the poet is saying, hanging loose and disheveled. Now, this is in fact a suggestion made by the poet asking the womenfolk of Manipur or Imas of Manipur to be ready for any form of revolt that will bring about a change in Manipur. So the poet is saying, get ready. You might be facing another war, because Nupi Lal, the very famous Nupi Lal, as we have mentioned in the introduction, as we have seen before we read the poem, we have seen that here the poet is talking about December 12, the famous Nupi Lal, isn't it? So Nupi Lal might happen, it might happen anytime, it might occur anytime, at any moment. So get ready, because we need you, mothers of Manipur. This is what the poet is telling. Now let us continue and see what else the poet is expecting from the Imas of Manipur. One December 12's gone and another December 12's come. Now what is the poet hinting here? Now the poet is reminding the mothers or Imas of Manipur that Manipur needs you. That is why the poet is saying, tuck and tie your hair, hanging loose and disheveled, asking the women of Manipur to be ready for what? Because anytime, any moment, another December 12 might happen. Already one is gone. Another may come anytime, any moment. And at this point, let us remind ourselves that already we had 2 December 12s. In the history of Manipur, there were 2 December 12s. One was in 1904 and another one was in 1939. And December 12 is what every year we celebrate as Nupi Lal, isn't it? So Nupi Lal happened twice. One in 1904, another in 1939. Now, the first Nupilal, as we say, the issue was not that much big compared to that which happened in 1939. In 1904, what happened? Like the British bungalow was burned down. The British officer, thinking that it was burned down by some miscreants, they caught all the Manipuri men and forced them to build the house. And not only that, they were forced to work as bonded labor and as potter to carry out tik from outside the state. So the women of Manipur were angry against such actions of the British government, and so they revolted. And this was, no doubt, it was not very big. It was a small incident, but it was a triggering point. It was the first step towards Nupilal. Then again, so this was the first Nupilal. Then what happened in 1939? What happened? A man-made famine happened, as we have already discussed in the introductory part, that in 1939, the export of rice, which was export of rice from Manipur, from our state, was happening at a very high rate, that in the market rice was not available. So the mothers of Manipur could no longer bear such situation or such man-made artificial famine, and so they thought of revolting against such act. And because of this, and as a result, the Nupilal happened, when women of Manipur came out of their household to revolt against the exportation of rice. And this led to the uproar, this led to the cause of the Nupilal. So the poet is saying, every time an issue occurs in Manipur, what happened? Every time any issues, right now, current also, or in the past also, every time any issue occurs in Manipur, Imas of Manipur, we all call Ima, isn't it? Mother. In Manipuri, mother means Ima. So Imas of Manipur, they always take active participation. We have seen two Nupilals also. Just now we have discussed about the Nupilal in 1904 and the Nupilal of 1939. Here also both we see the women of Manipur taking active participation. Why? Why do they take active participation? Because of their love for their motherland and their children. That is we, isn't it? They played a great role in shaping the state of Manipur. It may be political reforms, social reforms, economical reforms, or cultural reforms. The mothers of Manipur or the women of Manipur played a very important role. So that is why the poet is saying, Devi, tuck and tie your hair, hanging loose and disheveled. Why? Because one December 12's gone, another December 12's coming. Get ready, because we need your participation. That is what the poet is hinting. So the poet is suggesting or requesting the mothers of Manipur not to forget our motherland, not to forget our state, and not to forget their children, and to come out and help them. Now the last two lines, the poet is saying, did you believe hair will be tucked and tied? Do you think we will be facing some situation like this again? Or are we going to face situation like this again and again and again? Are we every time going to fight? And do you think surely this December 12th will come again? Did you really think that they'll come again? Is it going to happen again? Did you expect that such things will come again? Surely it will come. As long as we need change, as long as there needs to be reforms in the society, surely these days will come, and surely the role of Imas of Manipur, women of Manipur, will be needed again and again. That is why the poet is saying or requesting the mothers of Manipur to get ready for yet another war which might come. So tuck and tie your hair, because the day will come again, and surely the day is coming. Surely the day will come, and we will need your help. That is what the poet is suggesting in this poem. So we have read the poem, we have gone into the explanation of the poem. What have we seen in the poem? We see in this poem, December 12, how the poet has given us a beautiful picture of the strength, of the power, of the braveness of the Manipuri women. It has been beautifully portrayed in the poem. We have seen the poet asking the Manipuri women to be ready for any form of war that comes up. So be ready and, tuck and tie your hair. God, by the very word tuck and tie your hair, as we have seen in the earlier explanation, the poet is asking the women of Manipur to be ready anytime, any moment. So it highlights us that when necessary, women of Manipur is ready to participate in bringing about changes in our state politically and socially. So it is a very beautiful poem, and the poet has clearly presented us the strength, the power, the unity of Manipuri women. Saireng sidai sida, saireng iriba kabi sina, ithizana maitai nupi gi sakti, maitai nupi gi pangan, apun mana pangan ni haibado, saireng sidai sida mahakna akhoi da phongdokli, karam haina nupi sing sida mahakna December 12 haibase amuk soidana lakani ko haugragasu amuk halakpa yai punjallo nasam punjallo ko ready oiro harise ko yumgi thabak inghang do aduga loina na nasa sing do ready de leiro anytime, any moment, when necessary. Change amalakpada women plays an important part haibase kaudana ba ko be ready haidana khoida saireng sida suggestion maza ama torami. I hope you have understood the point. We have discussed about the poem, we have read the lines, and now we've seen the summary, and we have seen the whole poem together. The beauty of the poem is clearly seen, and I hope you have understood the poem very clearly. Do read the text, do read the poem, not only once, twice, but read it many times. Listen to this session, listen to the class properly, and try to picturize it in your eyes. Remind yourself of that memorial which is situated behind our head post office. Look at it and remind ourselves of the sacrifices that our mother has done for us. I hope you enjoyed the class. More classes will be coming up. Please do enjoy the class. Thank you.